Thanks to SRG, we were able to see that turn around pretty quickly. I believe within 6 months of working with the team, we saw our lead volume triple, almost double as well. And so not only were we getting a lot more leads through working with SRG from a channel that we hadn't been successful with previously, the quality of those leads also increased proportionately, which was really encouraging to see and took a lot of load and lift off of my back as the sales leader at the organization then. So
I'm here today with Gareth Roberts from Shippabo, and he is one of our clients here at SRG Marketing. And today we're just going to chat about his experience working with us, some of the results he got, just dive into that. So, Gareth, thank you for taking the time to chat with me today,
yeah, of course. Thanks for having me, Scott.
of course. So I guess to start, can you just describe to everyone briefly what Shippabo does and what your role is there?
Yeah, yes, sure. So I'm the sales director at Shippabo. We are a tech-enabled freight forwarding business. So we help importers that are based primarily in North America get their product from their suppliers who can be all over the world, but most often we find a lot of our clients' goods are manufactured in Southeast Asia. We help them to get that product from their supplier to their warehouse, usually stateside, quickly, effectively, and within budget. And we accomplish that through a network of carrier partners that we work with, as well as pretty advanced, sophisticated technology offering that allows our importers to gain real-time visibility into the movement of the shipments.
I guess just to start, can you share? I know we started working with Shippabo a little bit before you started there, but can you share a little bit about like where you guys were with your demand gen strategy and pipeline
Yeah.
generation strategy when you came in?
Yeah, totally. So it was very much a rep-driven model when I was coming into the business. So we are coming out of a world where our reps had really found meaningful success or continued success with kind of building their own book through relationships that they had nurtured and fostered over the years. As the market tightened up, we found that channel was less effective for us. Businesses weren't seeing the exponential growth that led to interest in building and nurturing those relationships with our sellers. So it was definitely a tough time for our business in terms of our top of funnel. We were challenged with we're really thinking creatively around how we could go about identifying new channels for pipeline growth, which at the time I joined, we hadn't found much success with outside of that rep-driven model, which hadn't been working for really, I think it's fair to say, probably six to 8 months. We had seen very, very low lead volumes across the board, but particularly to the channels that had worked for us historically. So we were definitely, that's not to say that we weren't finding business opportunities. Obviously, we do have a very strong customer base, and that's always a good source for referrals. And there's other channels as well, but we certainly had to find creative and new ways to kind of go about navigating this new market that a lot of businesses in our space have found themselves in the last 1 to 2 years.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And I guess just like kind of shifting to like after working with us, what kind of changed and what are some of the results you guys saw?
Yeah, so with any initiative of this kind, it does take some time to, especially when you're looking at a new channel, to kind of work out some of the kinks that naturally occur when you start really building a new inbound motion. And I think there were some ideas or maybe some hypotheses that we tested early on in our relationship as well. So like with any marketing initiative, it did take some time to kind of scale and ramp our process and really kind of define best practices for everything from paid search to some of the direct campaigns that we did as well. But within the first few months, even we started seeing noticeable results from really the majority of the campaigns we were working with SRG on. The ones that were less effective, we were quick to make data-driven decisions on moving off of those campaigns and reallocating resources or budget to the higher ROI channels or activities that were really driving lead volume for us. So thanks to SRG, we were able to see that turn around pretty quickly. I believe within 6 months of working with the team, we saw our lead volume triple. We also saw our quality conversions almost double as well. And so not only were we getting a lot more leads through working with SRG from a channel that we hadn't been successful with previously, the quality of those leads also increased proportionately, which was really encouraging to see. Took a lot of load and lift off of my back as the sales leader at the organization then. So one of the first tailwinds I think I experienced during my tenure at Shippabo that really helped to drive things forward and build some momentum with the things we were working on the sales side.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, you hit on a lot of really good points around, really setting up the reporting infrastructure so we could test things and say, hey, this is what's actually driving sales meetings for you guys and the right people and what's not. So
Sure.
I think that was a great point on something we focus on. And then obviously a big focus with us is increasing the the quality of the leads coming in, not just the quantity. So yeah, working with you is great to like kind of see us turn that around a little bit and get you
Yeah.
guys more sales meetings.
And it's a push and pull relationship too, which was another thing that I really valued in working with your team and really Brian in particular is he was a very valuable partner for me in defining, in some cases, qualification criteria that our sales team either wasn't following or didn't have a consistent definition around from peer to peer, right? So there was a lot of not just collaboration, right, but a lot of, healthy kind of back and forth between what actually makes for a qualified lead at Shippabo. What are our expectations as a sales team when we say a lead is qualified, right? And how are we reporting back on that, not just to marketing, but also internally within our organization, which SRG has been a super, super collaborative partner with and really, again, helped us to streamline a lot of not just the success that we saw, but our time frame to start seeing ROI.
Yeah, that's great. So what were the main challenges you were facing when you first started at Shippabo as it relates to, your revenue strategy?
Yeah, so I think really kind of identifying our top sources for leads and really having a single top kind of three consistent lead source for us. Definitely something that even if we had it, I don't think we had a lot of consensus internally on really where our business opportunities were coming from, especially as the market shifted away from one where sellers could actually build and maintain their own pipeline without investing a lot of energy and effort, to be blunt about it, to one where, the businesses that we support weren't seeing that exponential growth in the way that they had been in years prior. So finding a marketing partner who could really come in, help us to hone in on our messaging and help us to deliver that messaging in a way that resonated with our target audience was something that I don't think we really had a feel for or maybe consensus around when I joined the organization. And SRG was a really valuable partner in helping us to define that.
The beauty, I think, of like setting up the HubSpot infrastructure and running the tests is then like you kind of like now I think you have that confidence in saying like, hey, here are like the two or three things that actually work for our business.
Oh yeah.
You have
I mean,
data to prove it. Yeah,
now we're at a place where we can double down on the things that are working, right?
exactly. Yeah.
And we've been able to allocate budgets that I haven't been able to justify and wouldn't have been able to justify a year from now into channels that we know are effective for us and are continuing to be our high performing channels during times that traditionally are slower seasons for our business, which is also a really kind of encouraging thing I've been seeing even in the most recent months in investing in SRG and just in our marketing strategies in general.
Yeah, that's great. Can you just describe like the time commitment required from your end with our collaboration and what responsibilities did you have and what did we take care of?
Yeah, so it's definitely ebbed and flowed, and that's been kind of by design, right? So there are moments during the quarter or during the month where I'm extremely high touch with SRG to the point where, we're having daily meetings. Usually it's around a specific campaign or an initiative. SRG has been very helpful with some sales operations functions and best practice guidance around like our CRM usage, which has been a reason to have more high touch, right? In other cases where we don't have an active initiative or we're investing in something that we need some runway to really kind of assess. We've also been very low touch at certain points as well. So really in my experience, it's kind of been as frequent or infrequent as I need based on what we're working on at the time. And so, it's tough to say, right? It's flexible, I guess, is the main kind of word I would use to describe the relationship because it very much does sit on a spectrum and for the most part, SRG has been very responsive to those fluctuations and how much time we need to spend or energy that we look to invest in either our partnership, our marketing strategy, or even away from that, right? If we have other fires we need to put out as a small business, right?
And based on the results you've gotten so far, where do you see kind of the marketing strategy heading in the next, 6 to 12 months?
Yeah, it's a good question. So I definitely think there's an opportunity to continue doubling down on a lot of the ad spend we're currently allocating towards SRG and our paid search. That's been an area that SRG has been especially successful with. I also think we have a lot of opportunity to get more creative with how we go about positioning our business, as well as how we leverage refined messaging that we want to take to market here in the near term, especially as we execute on some initiatives within our roadmap. And the great thing is that with the foundation of success that we've seen with SRG up to this point, we now have confidence in not just the campaigns we want to run, right, but where we want to invest our dollars to maximize some of the things that we're experimenting with in terms of content strategy, in terms of positioning, even in terms of new product offerings that we want to roll out as well. So as I think about the evolution of the overarching strategy there, very much want to continue experimenting with SRG, but I want to maintain the things that have made us successful in terms of channels, campaigns. There's actually not a lot on the marketing side I want to change, more so deploying that around some of the new initiatives that we're rolling out on the Shippabo side. So hopefully that gives some context there without giving away too much of the secret sauce. But those are some of the exciting things we have coming up, and we're looking forward to working with SRG on those items.
What, if anything, surprised you about working with us and our service?
So I think willingness to step in and address specific problems that we're working through as an organization. So I alluded to it earlier, but I don't, I don't really think of SRG as a business that builds itself as a sales operations specialist, right? That said, run into some very challenging questions with how we manage our CRM and as a sales team, right? That impacts how we manage reports that impacts SRG's work. Not only has SRG been a partner for troubleshooting and addressing those ideas, questions, thoughts, concerns with, but they've actually been a bit of a thought leader for us in recommending best practices based on what they've seen from other clients they work with, what they see in the market in general. And again, we've really been able to treat them as an extension of our team, even beyond the immediate scope of what they've really contracted with Shippabo for, to be frank about it.
These goals that we want to help you hit, and like if there's things broken, or that could be improved that maybe aren't in our scope, right? We got to fix it, or else like you don't get the results you want. So yeah, it's good to hear you say that, because I think that's the way we think a lot. Yeah.
And to your point, there is a line in the sand that has to be drawn, and I think SRG has been pretty good about managing that in a way that's respectful to our process as well as your bottom line. And that's been, we try to respect that on our side, and we're definitely appreciative of, really the proactiveness and relaying those recommendations, right? But not necessarily driving the initiative through, right? So I think there's been a delicate balance that SRG has been pretty good about maintaining there, that's helped take ambiguity out of our day to day, and again helped us to move a little bit more nimbly with some of the things we're working together on.
Yeah, that's awesome. Cool. If someone was on the fence about working with us, what would you tell them?
Yeah, so marketing, especially in 2024, can be a very frustrating discipline. It's you get in, you get out what you put in to any partnership, right? But I think that's especially true of a marketing partner. You can always find reasons to not work with an agency, but if you're challenging yourself and really you're challenging that agency through that evaluation process that you're going through, my expectation is that we're asking specific questions around what their experience is with working with businesses like yours, or engaging in some of the campaigns that you're thinking about really executing on in the near term. SRG has been very vocal and proactive about, again, sharing those best practices with us and letting those recommendations really kind of drive a sense of confidence for us internally around, not just their ability to execute, but their ability to, constantly measure and assess the success of anything they're doing for us, right? And that was something we didn't take their word for. We evaluated them as well. My hope would be that if you're asking those questions, you're seeing that specificity in the answers you're getting from them. And that's what gave us confidence to move forward. And I hope it gives another company the confidence to do the same.
Okay, last thing, any final thoughts you'd like to tell anyone viewing this video about working with us?
Yeah. In addition to, just the organization as a whole, specifically Brian and Tamaris, who are our points of contact at Shippabo, have been really wonderful to work with, very responsive to questions we have, very diligent in terms of the guidance that they provide, and just enjoyable to work with, right? It's a tough world that we're both living in as a sales and marketing team working together. There's a lot of natural friction in place, but Brian and Tamaris in particular have made some of those tougher conversations much easier. Like I said, have really walked the walk in terms of serving as an extension of our team and helping us to drive our larger strategy forward. So yeah, love working with them and excited to continue tackling uncharted territory with them too as we continue working together.
Well, thank you so much, Gareth, for doing this call. This was awesome. Really appreciate it.